Las Vegas, often referred to as Sin City, presents itself as a playground where anything is possible. With its iconic casinos, luxurious hotels, extravagant shows, award-winning restaurants, and the seductive promise of striking it rich overnight, the city exudes an aura of excitement and limitless opportunity. People flock to Las Vegas with dreams of winning big, indulging in endless entertainment, and experiencing the ultimate nightlife. The bright neon lights, the buzzing slot machines, and the thrilling roulette tables create an atmosphere where fortunes seem to be just a bet away. Yet, behind the glitzy facade lies a much darker, hidden reality. Las Vegas has a turbulent history, one rooted in the influence of organized crime, with mafia figures playing an essential role in the city's rise to fame. Mobsters use the city's growing casino scene as a front for money laundering and criminal activities, laying the foundation for the lavish yet corrupt world that exists today. The underbelly of Las Vegas is not just defined by its criminal past, but by the stark reality of those who live far removed from the glitz and glamour. Beneath the bright lights of the Strip, an underground world exists where people struggle to survive in unimaginable conditions. Hundreds, perhaps even thousands, live in the city's dark, claustrophobic tunnels, far from the wealth and opulence above them. While Las Vegas continues to thrive as a global tourist destination, many remain trapped in the shadows, with little hope of escape from their dire circumstances. This juxtaposition of wealth and poverty, luxury and hardship, forms the unsettling truth beneath the city's glittering surface. Las Vegas, originally an unassuming stopover in the vast barren desert of Nevada, grew into one of the world's most iconic cities. It began as a small oasis, offering a brief respite for travelers crossing the arid landscape. However, its transformation into a thriving urban center was largely shaped by the liberal policies introduced in the 1920s. Nevada, seeking to boost its local economy, made a bold decision to legalize gambling, setting the stage for a dramatic shift in the region's destiny. This move attracted gamblers and entrepreneurs alike, eager to take advantage of the new, permissive environment. The city quickly became a place where traditional rules were bent and pleasure took center stage. Las Vegas was soon characterized by its flexibility, where the usual constraints of morality, laws, and social norms seemed to take a back seat to indulgence and excess. This laid the foundation for a city built on entertainment, where people could escape societal conventions and immerse themselves in a world of non-stop excitement. The arrival of iconic casinos, lavish resorts, and an ever-growing number of visitors turned Las Vegas into the entertainment capital of the world. The city's rise was further accelerated by the construction of Hoover Dam in the 1930s, bringing essential resources like water and electricity that transformed it from a small desert settlement into a booming metropolis. By embracing a carefree, rule-bending ethos, Las Vegas became a symbol of freedom, pleasure, and possibility, forever altering its identity and securing its place in history as a major entertainment hub. The city's bold transformation from a desert oasis to a global icon was fueled by its willingness to embrace change, challenge conventions, and offer a unique brand of excitement that has captivated millions ever. The mafia played a pivotal role in shaping Las Vegas into the entertainment powerhouse it is today. During the city's early years, mobsters saw the potential in the booming gambling scene and began using casinos as fronts for their illegal activities, particularly money laundering. These criminal enterprises expanded rapidly as the mafia families from Chicago, New York, and Cleveland poured money into Vegas, turning the city into an empire where casino profits flowed directly into their clandestine coffers. One of the most influential figures in this transformation was Benjamin "Bugsy" Siegel, a notorious mobster who envisioned Vegas as a glamorous destination. In 1946, Siegel opened the Flamingo, a luxurious hotel and casino that, despite a rocky start, ultimately set the stage for Vegas's future. His vision of combining luxury with gambling helped create the iconic Vegas that we know today. However, Siegel's career was cut short when he was murdered in 1947, a crime that would go on to become a symbol of the ruthless power struggle within the mafia. His death left a mark on the city's history, but it did not deter the mafia's influence. Over the years, Hollywood would dramatize this dark chapter in Vegas's development, with films like Casino and The Godfather capturing the glamour and violence of the mob's grip on the city. These films cemented the mafia's connection to Vegas in the public's mind, portraying the intricate relationships between criminal enterprises, politicians, and entertainers that made the city thrive. Despite the mafia's decline in the late 20th century, some theories suggest they never truly disappeared, simply shifting to operate in the shadows, continuing their influence over the city from behind the scenes. The mafia's influence in Las Vegas extended far beyond the casino floors and into the realm of American politics, with rumors swirling that organized crime played a significant role in John F. Kennedy's 1960 presidential election. It was widely speculated that the mafia, especially the Chicago and New York crime families, helped secure votes for Kennedy in key battleground states, aiding his victory in exchange for assurances of protection from federal scrutiny. Prominent figures like Frank Sinatra, who had close ties to both the Kennedys and various mafia leaders, were rumored to be instrumental in facilitating these connections. Sinatra, a close friend of JFK, was allegedly a conduit between the political world and the criminal underworld. However, after Kennedy's election, the situation took a dramatic turn. His brother, Robert F. Kennedy, who was appointed Attorney General, made it his mission to eradicate organized crime. Under his leadership, the federal government initiated an aggressive crackdown on the mafia, with investigations into illegal activities in Las Vegas casinos and money laundering operations. This shift in policy sparked outrage and resentment within the mafia, who felt betrayed by the very political figures they had helped propel to power. This conflict fueled a wave of conspiracy theories, particularly regarding the circumstances surrounding JFK's assassination in 1963. Many believed that the mafia, feeling threatened by the increasing investigations, may have played a role in his death as a way to protect their interests and prevent further scrutiny. While no definitive evidence has ever been presented, these rumors have continued to captivate the public's imagination, adding a layer of intrigue and suspicion to the complex relationship between the mafia, the Kennedys, and the fate of the nation's leader. Las Vegas is a city marked by stark economic inequality, where opulence and hardship exist side by side. While the wealthiest residents and tourists indulge in luxury, flashing neon lights, and world-class entertainment, a significant portion of the population struggles to make ends meet. Immigrant workers, who form the backbone of the service industry, are often trapped in exploitative conditions. These workers, including drivers, cooks, and security guards, work tirelessly behind the scenes of the glittering casinos and extravagant hotels. Yet, despite their essential roles in keeping the city's operations running smoothly, their wages rarely align with the high cost of living in the city. Many find themselves buried under mounting debt, unable to keep up with the rising costs of housing, food, and other basic necessities. As a result, some resort to desperate measures such as gambling and substance abuse in an attempt to cope with their financial burdens. The allure of Vegas as a city of instant wealth draws people from across the nation and beyond. But for many, the dream of success quickly turns into a nightmare. The casino industry, which generates billions in profits, often fails to share its wealth with those who support it, further entrenching the divide between the wealthy elite and the struggling working class. Workers face long hours, low pay, and little job security, all while the glitz and glamour of the Strip continue to attract millions. This vast disparity creates a city of extremes, where a few thrive in excess, while many others are left to face the harsh realities of poverty, addiction, and a lack of opportunity. Despite the promises of riches for a significant portion of the population, Las Vegas is not the land of opportunity, but a place where dreams are often crushed beneath the weight of economic inequality. Las Vegas, often known for its dazzling lights and opulence, hides a dark and hidden side beneath its glitzy exterior. The city's underground drainage system, initially built to manage flooding, has become an unintended refuge for hundreds of people struggling with extreme poverty and desperation. These tunnels, once designed solely for water management, now serve as cramped, suffocating homes for individuals who have lost everything. Many of these residents find themselves living underground after being driven to the edge by gambling addiction, financial ruin, and other tragic life circumstances. With no money, no family, and no place to turn, the tunnels offer a grim and claustrophobic escape from the harsh realities of life above ground. The conditions are dire. There is no electricity, ventilation is almost non-existent, and sanitation is abysmal. Rats, cockroaches, and other pests infest the tunnels, making survival even more difficult for those already struggling to get by. Despite the constant risk of flooding, theft, and violence, these individuals have nowhere else to go, and the tunnels have become a desperate last resort. For many, living in the tunnels is not a choice, but a harsh reality born out of failure, addiction, and a lack of support systems. The tunnels are a place where people live in the shadows of the city, invisible to the wealth and success enjoyed by tourists and the elite. The dark side of Las Vegas, hidden beneath its iconic strip, serves as a stark reminder of the city's glaring inequality and the harsh realities faced by those who fall through the cracks of society. While the city thrives on glamour, the underground tunnels tell a much bleaker story of survival in the face of abandonment and despair. Life in the underground tunnels of Las Vegas is harsh and grim, with residents enduring deplorable living conditions. Originally built to manage rainwater and prevent flooding, these tunnels have transformed into makeshift homes for individuals who have nowhere else to turn. Lacking basic amenities like electricity and proper ventilation, the tunnels are a breeding ground for discomfort and health hazards. Rats, cockroaches, and other pests share the cramped spaces, further degrading the already difficult living environment. The lighting is minimal at best, provided by candles or battery-operated lanterns, casting an eerie glow over the tunnels. Many of the inhabitants, such as John Henson, have turned to this underground refuge not by choice, but by necessity. The cost of living in Las Vegas is exorbitantly high, and for people like Henson, who work in low-paying jobs, regular rent and living expenses are simply out of reach. They find themselves stuck in a cycle of poverty, unable to save enough money to escape their situation. Old mattresses, blankets, and discarded furniture are their makeshift homes, providing a small semblance of comfort in an otherwise harsh reality. These individuals are often invisible to the thriving city above them, hidden away in the darkness beneath the glamorous hotels and bustling casinos. The tunnels, a symbol of desperation, serve as a final refuge for those who have fallen through society's cracks, trying to survive in an environment that offers little more than shelter from the storm. The people who live in these tunnels are just a fraction of the hidden population in Las Vegas, existing in a city that thrives on excess. While so many saint life in the tunnels beneath Las Vegas is not only physically harsh, but also mentally and emotionally taxing. People who live there, such as Jay, have described the tunnels as an environment thick with fear and distrust. The atmosphere is often described as dark and haunted, with a constant sense of unease. Over the years, the tunnels have become a place rife with theft, violence, and drug abuse. Jay, who has spent years living in this underground world, speaks of the brutal acts he has witnessed, including murders and mutilations. These horrifying experiences contribute to the deep psychological toll the tunnels take on their inhabitants. Once, there may have been a semblance of community among those who lived there, but now mistrust dominates. Survival becomes the sole focus, and as Jay explains, the only rule in the tunnels is to distrust everyone around you. The social bonds that might have existed have long been replaced by a cold survivalist mentality. In this grim underworld, everyone is out for themselves, trying to survive another day amidst the chaos and despair. The psychological strain of living in such an environment takes its toll on the residents, leaving them trapped not just physically, but mentally in a world where violence, fear, and hopelessness rule. For many, the tunnels offer not just a place of refuge from the city above, but also a living nightmare where the worst aspects of humanity are laid bare in the pursuit of mere survival. As the years pass, it becomes harder to see any way out, and the tunnel's dark atmosphere tightens its grip. Las Vegas enforces strict laws and regulations that push the homeless further to the margins of society, making it increasingly difficult for them to survive in public spaces. On the main tourist streets, which are often bustling with visitors, there are specific rules that prohibit homeless individuals from sitting or standing for extended periods, and they are not allowed to linger near elevators. These restrictions create an environment where the homeless are constantly moved along, out of sight and out of mind. Violating these laws can result in fines or even imprisonment, making it harder for individuals living on the streets to maintain any sense of stability. For those living in the tunnels beneath the city, the situation is no better. Residents report that there is even a separate court system specifically for dealing with homelessness, which further isolates them from the rest of the population. This legal framework effectively criminalizes homelessness, denying these individuals the basic dignity and rights they deserve. Rather than offering support or solutions, these laws simply push the homeless into a more hidden existence, rendering them invisible to both tourists and the general public. The focus on maintaining the image of a glittering, bustling city for visitors comes at the expense of those struggling to survive in the shadows. In essence, Las Vegas's legal system perpetuates a cycle of poverty and marginalization, making it harder for the homeless to escape their dire circumstances. The combination of restrictive laws and the lack of adequate support systems further deepens the divide between the wealthy, glittering surface of the city and the invisible, suffering population beneath it. Las Vegas, often referred to as the entertainment capital of the world, presents a glittering image of wealth, excess, and endless fun. Tourists flock to the Strip, captivated by the bright lights of luxurious casinos, world-class restaurants, and glamorous shows, all promising an escape from reality. However, beneath this glamorous exterior lies a stark contrast, an underworld of inequality, crime, and profound human suffering. The city's wealth and excess are built on the backs of the many who live in the shadows, out of sight from the opulent surface where the wealthy thrive. Behind the bright lights, the streets are filled with workers in low-paying jobs, immigrants in precarious conditions, and those who have lost everything to addiction, debt, or gambling. They are the unseen, whose lives are far removed from the spectacle enjoyed by visitors. The story of Las Vegas is one of extreme contrasts, where the city's glittering exterior hides a harsh reality of human suffering and social injustice. The wealth generated by the city's entertainment industry rarely reaches the hands of those who contribute most to its success. Instead, it fuels the excesses of a few, while others struggle to survive in squalid underground conditions, facing unimaginable hardships. The true cost of Las Vegas's prosperity is borne by the forgotten people who live in its shadows, their lives marked by desperation, exploitation, and isolation. This hidden side of the city, though largely ignored by tourists, is the grim reality that remains behind the allure of the Strip. In the end, Las Vegas is a city defined by its extremes: luxury and poverty, glamour and despair, where the bright lights blind the world to the suffering that lies beneath.